No, this is not clickbait. Stream reached out to me and said that I can add a chat into my application in 5 minutes. And boy, did they deliver. So if you are looking for a tutorial where you can add a chat functionality into your SwiftUI project, keep on watching. Hit that subscribe button, let's open up Xcode and let's dive in. So how are we going to build an iMessage app in 5 minutes? Well, with the help of Stream, go ahead and check them out. It's at getstream.io. The link is also in the description. So yeah, this video is more than 5 minutes, but the actual implementation is around 5 minutes. So bear with me. In this tutorial, we are going to jump right into it and create an iMessage app. So what I did here is just started off with a brand new vanilla SwiftUI Xcode project. And actually what you have to do is just download the resources. Is just a simple setup file. I will just drag and drop it right over here. Let me just finish this and yeah, let's just take a look at what the setup is all about. Well, it's just a simple struct with an API key, user ID, username, user image URL, and a token. So let's create them. So the first one is our API key. So you can get them at getstream.io/dashboard. So if you just sign up, you will be taken right over here where you can just create your API keys. And I already created one. Here you have your API key. That is what you want to copy out. Now I won't copy that out because we are going to use the tutorial, the demo tutorial that Stream has already set up for us. So when you are building this out, just replace your API key right over here. Now here's your user ID. This could be anything, but make sure that, of course, now it stays the same, but make sure that it is identical. Username, what the name will be displayed. User image URL, a URL to your user image. Finally, you want to create your token. That is a JWT token that, of course, will be created on a separate server. For now, let's just use it in our app, and you can create one for your own kind of app at the link right over here that you have in your setup file. Now, yeah, there's plenty of documentation how to create that. For now, we are just going to use again the demo one. So that's our setup. So it's really, really straightforward. Go ahead and sign up at getstream.io and then create a new app and grab your key and add it right over here. And by the way, here is how to create a JWT token with this generator that also Stream is providing. Okay, now that's our setup. So that's how easy it is to set this up. Now, next up, we are going to use these UI components that Stream lets us use. And for that, we want to add a Swift package. So let's just go right over there and add a Swift package dependency. And it's at github.com getstream streamchat Swift. So let's just add that package. Go ahead and check out if you do want to get the link from GitHub, then just search for it and you will be taken to that GitHub repository. What you may want to make sure is that you select both of them, so StreamChat and StreamChat UI. So let's add that package right over there and we are done. So right over here, well, maybe let's just change this to up to next major. So let's just go 4.0.0 and let's just wait for that to be updated. And now we are ready to create our chat. So what we're going to do is have a chat list, and when we tap on one of those users, then we are going to take into our chat. And we are going to use actually UI kit views for that. Go ahead and comment down below in the description if you want to have another tutorial of how to add this in purely Swift UI. Now we do have access to UI kit pre-built components, so that is really awesome. So let's just start building this out. And the first one will be our channel view controller. So right over here, maybe after the setup file, let's just create a new file. And that will be our channel view controller. And I will just copy this out so I can just reuse it really quickly. What we want to do here is import, first of all, StreamChat and then StreamChat UI, of course, and then import UIKit. Because this class, there we go, this class named Channel View Controller will be a superclass from Chat Channel VC. So Chat Channel VC. And that's it. So all you have to do is just create this channel view controller that is a subclass from Chat Channel VC. Now we want to, that is kind of the chat channel. Now we want to create a list. Again, we are going to use the handy UI kit component. Let's create a new file here. And let's just name this channel list view controller. So list, and again I'm going to copy this out, create that, and let's create our class right over here and add that in there. Oh, and by the way, let's just copy out all the imports so it will be much faster. Okay, and again this will be chat channel list VC, and that's it. Okay, so now we got our two view controllers. What we need to do, because this is a Swift UI app, we want to create a UI view controller representable. So that is what we are going to do next, and we are going to do that for the channel list view. So let's just create a new file right over here. Next, channel list view. And right over here, again, we want to import all of these two, plus Swift UI, of course. So let's just import those and import Swift UI. Okay, so what we're going to do is UI view controller representable. So let's just create our struct, and it will be named channel list view, and then UI view controller representable. Now this needs a type alias, so the type alias for our UI view controller will be our created channel list view controller. There we go. So this is our UI view controller type, and finally we want to add those two necessary functions, that is make UI view controller and update UI view controller. Now for the update, we don't really care about that. What we do care about is creating our view controller right over here. So let channel list is what I'm going to call this view controller, equals channel list view controller. And then we want to return our channel list. Basically that would be it, but I'm going to go even further because we want to add all the users for that controller that do have this user ID that we are using currently. So first of all, we want to create a query, and that will be a channel list query. There we go, open parentheses, and we are going to add in here a filter dot contains members, and the user ID is an array actually, but we are just going to use our setup dot user ID that I was talking about earlier on. Okay, finally we just go channel list dot controller equals. Now we do have to have a chat client here, so yeah, let's just create our chat client first, and that is pretty straightforward. Let's just go over here. Well, I'm just going to comment this out, and let's create our chat client plus, actually, because we are going to have an extension on that. So chat client plus. Okay, let's just import stream chat right over here. Let's create our extension for our chat client, and let's just have a static var shared of chat client, and we can bang that out. So basically this is our own user. So let's just go back right over here, and now we can just we can set up our controller as our chat client dot shared, what we have just created, and dot channel list controller with that query, and we just pass on that query. So that will just query all the users that have actually a conversation with this user ID. Okay, so next up, we created this channel list view, so let's just add that right over here instead of our content view. This needs to be added inside the navigation view because we do have a navigation bar, so navigation view and then our channel list view. And I'm also going to go ignore safe area because on the bottom I don't want to have that cut out the list of users. Okay, so basically that's it. Now for the setup, now we want to initialize this. So what we are going to do is create an app delegate adapter. So let's just go ahead and, right over here, let's create a new file. And I will name this app delegate adapter. Okay, why do we need this? Well, because we do want to initialize all of this when the app launches on the application did finish launching with options. So let's just import Swift UI right over here and then import Stream Chat and import Stream Chat UI. Okay, we are going to create a new class called app delegate of type NS object and UI application delegate. Okay, so that's our app delegate. Now we have access to the app delegate's delegate functions. So application did finish launching with options, and this is the one that we want right over here. Let me just make some room here. We are just going to return true now. Return true. And I'm going to create a separate function for this setup stream. Okay, setup stream, and let's just copy that out and create that function right over here. Okay, so what we are going to do here is use our API key, create a chat client, and then connect the user to that chat client. Of course, after that, we are going to apply some customizations because, you know, this UI, this custom, this predefined UI is just predefined, but there are a lot of customization options. So let's just jump right into it. First of all, I'm just going to create that function of apply chat customizations. So let's just talk about this first so we can get it out of our hands. So first of all, we can get access to our appearance.default, and then let's just go for the color palette. And I do know that background 6 is actually the bubble background color. So the chat bubble's background color. Let's just have it as .green. Okay, and then let's just take care of another default appearance. So default.images, and then let's have our send arrow, and that will be a UI image, system name, and I'm just going to copy out here because I don't want to have any typos. But you can just grab any type of system image from the SF symbols library. Okay, mine is arrow shape, turn upright. And if you right click on any of these, background 6 or send arrow, you will see a lot of other customization options that you actually do want to take advantage of. So your chat message app will be kind of unique, of course. And finally, we can also customize our components default.channel VC, Oh, no, sorry. We are not going to customize this. That's just the appearance. What we want to do is just add our channel view controller. So channel view controller dot self. Okay, that's how we apply chat customizations. Now it's time to kind of initialize this. First of all, we want to create some configs. So let config equals, and that is chat client config with an API key. There we go. And I'm just going to use init and setup, if I could type that out right, dot API key. Okay, so next up, I'm going to create also our token right over here, and that will be of type token, and I'm going to use the one with the string literal. So setup dot token. Okay. So we got our config and we got our token created. Now it's time to create our chat client. So chat client dot shared equals chat client with that configuration. So config, and we are just going to pass that along. Now it's a good time to apply the chat customization. So apply chat customization, because now the chat client is ready. Finally, we want to connect the users. So chat client dot shared dot connect user. Okay, and the user info, I don't really care about the completion, so let's just remove that. And the token will actually be our token, and the user info will be user info and open parentheses, and let's just use the one with the ID, name, image URL, and maybe some extra data. So ID will be our setup dot user ID. After our user ID, we are going to add in the name. Again, we already set that up in the setup file, so username, and also setup dot user image URL. I don't care about the extra data. You could just send that also. So let's just remove that. So finally, we want to use this app delegate. And that is done inside our app file that is right over here. And here we are just going to create it as a UI application delegate adapter. So let me just move that out of the way and add UI application delegate. UI application delegate. Vaptor, and Xcode is not really helping me here with auto-completion. I do need that right over here. App delegate dot self, and then var app delegate. Okay, UI application delegate adapter. Hopefully I spelled it out correctly, and now we can test this out. Okay. Build has succeeded. It's really, really nice. And here we go. We have our stream chat, and we also have, this is of course the demo project, but you will be able to set up your own. So let's just go ahead and go right over here, and let's send a message of maybe test. And let's just send it out. As you can see, this is our, well, not that nice green. It's a really ugly green, but there you go. You can set up all of your appearance. And if you see, if you have seen, let's just type something here. You see, there's our arrow. So really, really nice. And I highly recommend using Stream in your apps if you do want to create a chat message. Also, if you take a look at their site, there's also an activity feed infrastructure, but we just covered the chat messaging, which is really, really awesome. So now you know how you can add a chat functionality into your SwiftUI project easily with the help of Stream. So, if you do like these types of videos, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And while you're at it, make sure to hit that notification bell to get notified of new videos about Swift UI, Swift in general. Take a look at them. They are really, really awesome. And as usual, I will see you in the next one.